Welcome back to the UNX Championship Series. I'm Ethan Swanson.
And I'm Chris Ganji, and today we're at Real Life Ninja Academy in Stamford, Connecticut, where we're at our third qualifier for the last major event.
Right, and we're going to be on a course that's put together by Drew Dreschel himself, so you know it's going to be tough. But we have a very tough field of athletes here, too. You know, we're looking for top 3 men, top 3 women to go to that major event.
Yeah, and so the competition format for these qualifier events is furthest the fastest. Athletes will get one chance to run the course, and the tiebreaker will come down to who got to the furthest obstacle in the shortest amount of time.
Right, and this level of athlete is huge. East Coast is always really tough, but looking at the women's side, we have Abby Clark, who took first place at the last major event.
Yeah, I mean, coming off of a huge performance at the second major. I mean, we've also got Casey Rothschild coming back, Ava Colasanti, Jordan Carr, who are at our second major. Nikki Perella is going to be back, a UNX major veteran.
Alessandra Murto, Mary Layton. I mean, this is a really, really tough field of women's athletes. But then on the men's side, we also have some killers that are sitting in a pretty good spot in the season standings. Dave Kavanaugh sitting in 11th, Josiah Papel in 12th, and the list keeps going on. Najee Richardson, Joe Moravsky, Joe Meisner, all sitting in the top 20 in our season standings.
Yeah, not to mention a couple of athletes who haven't been to a major yet. I mean, Connor Galvin's going to be competing. He's, Thomas Stillings, he's back for another one. So
yep, Lucas Rial is back. You know, had a early fall in center court, but he's amazing, and we're going to see all them plus a ton more competing on this course. But let's get right into it with our first runner, who is a killer, Najee Richardson.
Naj, unfortunately, draws the first spot on the run order. The run order is randomized before every competition in these qualifiers.
It is randomized, but, you know, we've also seen athletes take good spots and qualifying spots running early, and you know Naj isn't phased. He's going to go out there and do his thing. Making his way through the rappel run, no problem, and onto the monster jump. This obviously you cannot use your hands, and he doesn't use anything.
Flips right over those boxes.
I don't know what else we expect from Naj, you know? And now we go into the sinking spider, and if you see the bottom on the left side bows out as you move through, that's why he's staying so high. That's really smart.
Yeah, really smart move there, especially for the first runner here.
And we're making our way to steamroller. Now, all of those 5 barrels, they spin and they bump up and down. You got to make your way to the trapeze.
Oh, no!
And that's it for Naj's run. Unfortunately, you know, running early, especially in an agility obstacle like that that's so finicky, you know, the speed that you go makes a huge difference, and he didn't have the advantage of being able to watch anybody else attempt it.
Yeah, and you can see those things are bouncing, they're spinning, those things are kind of all over the place. That's a really challenging obstacle, especially, you know, for Naj right there.
And that scares the crap out of me for the rest of the competitors. Not only if Naj can't do it, Naj is very quick and agile and powerful. That must be super hard. And I bet all the other competitors are watching that and going, if Naj fell on something, this is not good.
Yeah, but next up we've got Alessandra Murto stepping up.
Trying to make her way back to the majors. She was at the first major. And here we go. She's the first female athlete to run.
Taking on the rappel run, a little bit slower of an approach here.
And this is a big dismount.
Oh, no! Well, you could see she took the second rappel a little bit faster than the first to try to get the momentum and hit the platform, but honestly just fell back.
Well, it's a big dismount. You have to have that momentum. If you don't have the speed, you're not going to be able to make it. And she had a good amount of speed, but just was so close. It looked like she was inches away from getting that dismount.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she had some good momentum there. I'm kind of surprised that she didn't stick the landing, but huge upset there.
There are some really tough obstacles in the beginning of the course. We're only 4 obstacles in, and we haven't even seen the rest of the course. This is going to be a tough qualifier. But, you know, next up we have Sitara stepping up to the starting line. A younger athlete. She's competed at UNX before, trying to make her way through. I mean, the first obstacle we just saw Ali Murta go out on it.
We'll see. I mean, you need a lot of speed here, I would think, to get the momentum for the dismount.
She gets hung up.
Takes a hard hit there.
She's okay. Holy cow. That is a jolt of a dismount. And, you know, we saw her saving that first hole. She held on.
Took a hard hit to the side there on the wall, but, oh, man.
This is gonna be brutal.
I mean, that's just the first obstacle, and you can see how much momentum you need to get to that landing platform.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have another women's athlete up now, Jordan Carr. We've seen her break through before. She did amazing at center court last time. She made it to the major, so we'll see what she can do here. But, you know, she's a rock climber in background, and this is a really flowy obstacle.
You need a lot of...
Nice. Awesome.
A nice dismount there from Jordan.
And here we go on the monster jump. You cannot use your hands or your arms, legs and lower body only. And she's got it.
Clear. Only lower body there. You can see her keeping her hands up. You don't want to get disqualified on that obstacle.
In the sinking spider, you can see it start to bow out on the bottom left. The key here, I think, is to stay high, and she's right in the middle. She's okay. She looks controlled.
Yeah, I mean, looks really controlled here. This is really smooth. And gets the dismount.
All right, and now we're on to the steamroller. And we've only seen one athlete get here so far. Najee Richardson did not complete it. Let's see if Jordan can.
Pay attention to how much these rollers move. It makes it really difficult on the athletes.
So she's making sure her steps are right.
And she looks, oh no!
It looked like you saw she started to lean back a little bit, and because of that, then her feet started to slide forward and spin those rollers. You got to be so precise on everything on that obstacle.
Well, she was looking really confident on the first few steps, and you could see when she got to the big blue one, the second to last one, it exactly what you said, lean back, just didn't look as confident at that point. That's tough. I mean, she needs to make it back to the major. She's in a good spot on the season, but we'll see how it shakes out.
Well, not only that, but we've seen two women go out on the first obstacle. Jordan almost, I mean, she cleared the second, but it was close. And then the fourth obstacle took her out. These first four obstacles are not easy. None of them are gimmies.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see how our next competitor does. Josiah Papel stepping up to the starting line.
Josiah, we need a hero.
Josiah making his way through the rappel run.
Oh, wow, and just connects right through the rappel run. Here we go on the monster jump.
Nice, very smooth there.
He just ran him. He didn't even jump it.
You know, Josiah was at our first major event, missed out on qualifying for the second major. You know he wants to get back here to the third major to give himself a chance at the championship.
But, you know, I think some of his strengths are agility. I'm really excited to see him take on Steamroller right here. Oh, and look, did he try to skip?
That's what I was thinking. It looked like maybe his strategy was to skip that big blue one that we saw Jordan have a problem on and just try to get to that last one. I mean, when you really look at the trapeze bar, it's not that far away from the last barrel.
It looks like if you just get onto that orange one, the last one, and you're in a decent spot, you don't even have to really jump, and you'll just be right there. I just think skipping those is so hard because they move up and down so much. You can't get as big of a push off them as you think you might.
And when you try to jump from something that's rolling and you put a lot of power behind it, that thing's going to roll even more, and you're not going to get the jump that you think you need.
We've already seen it take out Najee Richardson and Josiah Papel, two of the best athletes we've seen competing in the UNX. And we're not even halfway through the course.
I mean, it's a Drew course. We said it in the beginning. This is going to be really difficult. I mean, we'll see if anybody can break through here, but...
Next up, we have Emmett Breen, who's taking his shot at the course. Jumping right up into it. I like that big pullback. Cleared the first obstacle. Rappel run is done.
Going up and over.
Nice.
Very nice.
Good power. Sinking spider, you see it move out that little bit, getting up high, very smart. You got Drew right behind him, making sure he's not put his hands over the top. Got the dismount.
And here we go. Emmett's got a shot here at this very agility-based obstacle.
Going a little slower.
Wow.
That looked so easy when he did it. And our first athlete passed it onto the pipe slider. He's got to make his way to the trampoline. Oh, no. Oh.
Well, this pipe slider obstacle is an obstacle as soon as you get down to the bottom of the track, you want to go because now it's going to be very hard for him to build this swing.
Right, you see him trying to kick back, and he's just not getting that much power. What is he doing here, though?
Okay. I like this. He's trying to get himself back up the track to give himself more momentum.
He might be able to get this.
Oh,
wow!
Unbelievable to have the awareness to save that.
Wow, that is unbelievable. That's such a smart move. And now we're on the dynamite pegs. This is a pegboard, but you can see the pegs are connected to each other, so they're getting in your way. Your strategy might be a little different. You can't make these humongous moves. And then he's getting close to the middle. There's a transition where you have to take the pegs to the next pegboard. So you can use this red ring here.
And you can see that the rope connecting the two pegs is, it's not long enough to make that transition.
Right. Trying to pop that one out behind him. And this is so tough because you're on that ring and you have to take complete weight off of that peg in order to get it out. And it looks like he's not getting his weight off enough to pop that peg out.
Yeah, definitely struggling here. I mean, this is eating up so much energy. It's been a really successful run up to this point, but he's burning a lot here.
Oh, now he's spinning around.
He's spinning.
Uh-oh.
Well, you got to gain control here if you want a shot. Oh, no.
He drops off. I mean, he spent so much time up there, and I mean, so much time on one arm. That's got to be really tough.
I mean, you could see just the beginning of his run looked really smooth, and especially when he tackled the spinning logs, I mean, made it look very, very smooth. Got hung up on the pipe slider, which burned some energy, and then again, just burning energy there on the dynamite pegs.
Yeah, and I wonder now that we've seen Emmett is the first to break through the steamroller, and we saw his strategy going a little slower and controlled. It looked so easy. I wonder if we're going to see a lot more athletes getting through it. I hope so.
I hope so. I mean, we'll see what strategy they take, the slow and steady approach, or if athletes will try to go fast, and we'll see if anybody else is successful.
Next up, we have Nolan stepping up to the starting line, and he has been crushing in the NNL. I believe he's sitting in first place in total points right now. He's been traveling all over the place. No stranger to competing. We'll see how he does here.
And looks good on the rappel run.
A great dismount. Had a lot of momentum.
Nice.
I like it. Up and over quickly. Right into the sinking spider.
I like the pace he's at so far.
Yeah, just keep it moving. No reason to slow down in the first couple, but here, if it were me, I would definitely take a second before steamroller because it's so precise. Just take a breath, you know? Looks like he's working on steps.
We'll see if Emmett unlocked it.
Oh,
and another
man.
very confident run there.
Yeah, and we saw it is doable even if he had a little slip up early, but was able to save it.
And he goes right as soon as the bar gets to the bottom, doesn't get hung up there.
I think that's the way to go on that obstacle. Now we go to the dynamite board. Here we go, making some strong moves here. I like it.
Yeah, I like this strategy, kind of going underneath every time. Give yourself a little bit more.
Yep, taking that back peg out.
Gets it out pretty comfortably.
And he's staying locked off. Nice, okay, he's on the second half. And here we go, now he's just making his way. You go as far as you need to in order to dismount. And the dismount pad is a little off and to the right, and that column that he's approaching is allowed to be used in the dismount.
Looks like he's lining up for it.
Nice.
Nice.
He's got the dismount. Now, this platform, you got to stand because you go right into the Gibbon swings, which is hands and arms only. I like it. Wow. So we keep those feet up.
Get those feet up.
Yep, incidental's okay. Just can't use your knees or your legs. Nice save. Oh, God.
Taking some rough hits here, but he's making his way through and he's making this look good.
Nicely done. Gibbon swings are done, and now we go into the minefield. Just an assortment of holds, nunchucks, there's a flywheel in there, you know, a bunch of stuff.
Well, Nolan is looking really good here. He's at about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
And our 4-minute time limit is coming up. He's got 1 minute and 15 seconds left, and there's quite a bit of course left. Nice.
On the flywheel.
Another set of nunchucks to another bar. Here we go, big move. Oh,
Nice
man.
catch there.
Now he's got to make a way to his blue pad right there. He's on these 2 ropes. Get to that blue pad. Get off this thing.
Nice. Makes the dismount from the ropes.
And now we go on to our last 4 obstacles, the first of which is the rising limit. Vertical limits that you have to go up and then to a sideways one and traverse, then big transfer into the Viking ship. Here we go.
This takes so much grip strength here.
30 seconds left. Now this transition is not easy. You got to turn around sideways, hold it.
Oh, that is such a difficult transition there.
But great run. That was amazing. And he got so much further than we've seen any athlete so far. Breaking into the course no one's seen yet. Amazing run from Nolan. That puts him in first place.
Yeah, I mean, that's a first place run right there. And honestly, that's going to be pretty hard to beat. I mean, we could be looking at a top 3 run there. That was strong.
Well, we have a ton of amazing athletes left, but that steamroller, I think, is going to be a big differentiator for any athlete, good or bad or inexperienced or experienced. I think it's a huge equalizer.
We'll see.
We will see. But next up, we have Thomas Stillings, who is a very experienced athlete. And, you know, one of his big strengths, agility, I would expect him to get to the steamroller, but I also would have expected Josiah and Naj to.
Yeah, Thomas Stillings, he's been just on the outside of qualifying at the last couple of qualifiers.
Oh, a little
Very
flare.
smooth. I mean, Thomas runs a parkour ninja-style gym, so no surprise there. Gives it some flair.
It used to be called jump, flip, land, which is exactly what we just saw. But I think it all comes to this. This is going to be a pivotal moment. Stepping up to the steamroller. I like what we're seeing. He's slowing down a little bit, breathing. Not because he's tired, just because he knows how important this obstacle is.
Well, he's got the parkour background, confident on his feet, and he makes it look good. I mean, very smooth there through the steamroller.
He's having fun out there, for sure. Nice
And a
dismount.
smooth landing there.
Thomas is looking great, and I feel like that's probably a huge weight off his shoulders at this point, and now it's just okay. The rest of it looks pretty controlled, you know, things that you're not going to slip off of.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the dynamite board here, it's all about how efficiently can you move through this to save your energy for the back half.
And, you know, normally on a pegboard, somebody like Thomas would say his reach is a huge advantage, but because those pegs are connected,
Well, you could see he left the back peg a little bit far, had some trouble popping it out, eventually gets it, but did eat up some time there.
yeah. Right, and you can't make humongous moves. The most you can go is pretty much where he's going right now. Is he going to make another move there? Yeah, he's going for one more move, and my guess is a dismount. Yep.
Yeah, he's looking for the dismount there. I think he just wanted his hands closer. And especially because you can use that pipe.
Can never be too controlled on a dismount.
Well, I mean, similar to Nolan, this is a really smooth run so far here.
And, you know, the Gibbon swings, you're saying is parkour athlete. I would expect this to be pretty simple for him. Yep.
You would expect it to be pretty simple, huh?
Wow.
Pretty simple.
That looks so good.
Is there a more simpler word than simple? Because that looked like it was nothing.
That did look like it was nothing. But I think that's the thing, is the technique on that obstacle alone is, if you have it right, it is easy. But if you have it wrong, it is almost impossible. Oh, one kickback and going. I like the efficiency we're seeing right here.
Man, we've seen Thomas just on the outside of qualifying at a couple competitions here, but right now, he looks more solid than I've seen him at a qualifier.
He looks really good, especially he's running pretty early. And off. Wow, that's about as good as we're going to see. I think we only saw one pullback. He's just checking, can I step off the pad, making sure he can go get chalk. Yep, yes you can. And in UNX, you only have to stay on the pad when the landing platform is also the starting platform for the next obstacle.
And we've only seen this obstacle attempted once by Nolan. We'll see if Thomas has the strength to get through it. I think the biggest part of this is that transition.
And he's bound to go one side, making pretty big moves there.
I really like that. Sets you up much better.
Here we go, Viking
That
ship.
transition.
Nice. He's got to make his way to the cargo net.
Nice.
And you got to get to the other side. He's going through
the
it.
middle.
Well, you could go under it, or you go through. You just can't go around the sides, and that looked really nice. Now he's got to get inside the spider, and that's a clear on the Viking ship. There's only 2 obstacles left, but time is a huge issue. He's gonna have to go.
This is a big rope swing
Huge
here.
dismount. Oh! And he goes over the landing pad. So you see those 2 blue pads there. You have to land on those pads and then go off to the side to another pad. Basically, Drew designed it so that you can't undershoot it, you can't overshoot it. You have to land and pretty much stay on that pad and then exit to the side.
Ah, Thomas just overshoots the pad. An awesome run there. Oh, man.
That was a great run. That puts him in first place right now, much further than anybody else so far. You know, we'll see how it holds up. There's a lot of competition left, but that's a great spot to be.
Yeah, and, you know, unfortunately, he overshoots the pad, so he doesn't get the clear for that obstacle because, like you said, you had to go off to the side. But honestly, that's a good run. I mean, I feel like the athletes are starting to get more and more confident now.
Yeah, and it's usually what we see, and it's awesome that Thomas broke through. And that last obstacle that he was on looks awesome. It's huge. My God, that is huge. But next up, we have Nicholas Abbott stepping up to the starting line. And first obstacle being rappel run. Decent pullback here. Oh!
Nice.
Got a little crooked and turn around, but he's good.
It's that trampoline. Looks good.
Judges are saying he's good.
Looks like his elbow probably got a little bit close, but you can see the judges give him the okay.
Yeah. Sinking spider looking like no issue for Nicholas here. Cleared.
And now onto the steamroller. Seems like this obstacle has kind of been unlocked by the past few competitors.
Yeah. Wow, so smooth. That's a tough thing about that obstacle. When you do it right, like,
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, we've seen this happen at other UNX competitions. He is not going to get that bar back.
I mean, it's like a 20-foot Lachey at this point. Yeah, it's just too far. It's just too far.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the, if you knock something out of your way or you drop something, you know, it's not going to be handed back to you. And so, unfortunately, when you go up to that pipe, you better be ready to grab it because it'll slide just like that.
Right, that's just what happened. Oh, man, especially he got through the harder part of that chain there, and then, yeah, I think maybe he just didn't think about what was going to happen next. He was so focused on the steamroller, but it's so unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate there, but
next up we have Taylor Johnson stepping up, and one of the shorter athletes. I think some of these reaches might be a little tough for her, but she's competed on Drechsel courses a lot.
Wow.
That was as good as we've seen any women's competitor do it so far.
Well, this is a shorter competitor. We'll see how she handles this jump here. She's really going to need to hit that trampoline well.
Yeah, she's got a gymnastics background, so. Oh!
Oh, I thought I saw it. You could see she flipped over.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was super awesome. But as she's flipping over, you see her just hit her hands, and the shoulders to your fingertips is not allowed on that obstacle. So unfortunately,
it didn't even look like she needed it, too.
I know. If she would just kept her hands in, she would have been completely fine. But
it's such a fine line. When you make the rules, you can't make any exceptions, and those are the rules you can't put your hands on. And unfortunately for Taylor, that's
and I like that the rules are like that because then it's not a judgment call. If somebody puts their hands on, takes away, did you use it? Did it help you? Did it not? So it's just being, hey, if you touch it all, it's black and white. There's really no room for argument with the judges or anything. And she clearly did touch, unfortunately, which means that's the end of her run.
But an awesome flip.
That was so awesome. That was so awesome. But unfortunately, that's the end of her run. And next up, we have Mia Lazarwick stepping up to the starting line.
Well, Mia has been competing for a very long time.
She trains at Action Athletics, a great gym. Probably one of the most unique in obstacle setups, so there's a lot of new, unique things here.
See how she can hit this trampoline.
Wow, that was awesome.
That looked like a casual box jump for her.
Yeah, that looked really good. Oh.
Gets a little.
Yep, getting up high. That's good. But yeah, the entry scared me a little bit there.
You know, she's taking her time here through the spider.
I mean, we haven't seen any women get past the steamroller yet, so I like her strategy. Hey, take your time, get through, and focus. If she beats this obstacle, she's going to be in first place no matter what.
And this is going to be such a difference maker. You know, getting through this would be huge.
It would be huge. She's looking at it, eyeing it up a little bit.
Whenever you hit an agility obstacle like this, you always want to make sure your steps are correct. You want to plan them out beforehand. I think that's what she's doing here.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. Let's see how it goes. She's lining it up.
Going slow. Oh. Well, I kind of like the approach to start, but then you could see her feet were just getting a little further and further back. And when she hit the last one, her toe didn't quite get up to the middle and just kind of spun.
I mean, that obstacle is just such a vicious cycle. If you're off by a little bit, that makes the next step so much harder and more likely to be off even a little bit more, and it just keeps going as you make your way to the obstacle. But I like her speed. I like her pace. Just the foot place was a little bit off, but I mean, that's a tough obstacle.
I love the way that she hit the monster jump.
Oh, me too. That was huge. That was so awesome. But next up, we have Casey Rothschild, who, I mean, she's been to the majors. She wasn't at the most recent one, and you know she's going to be trying to make her way back. Also trains at Action Athletics with Mia.
Yeah, and I mean, Casey is sitting in 10th place on the season.
And no hesitation there.
She looks back at the judges. And she knows it. She put that hand down. And it almost seems like she didn't need to. And it's just, as an athlete, it's such a reaction to use your hands in that situation. But unfortunately, like, the rules are the way that they are. And unfortunately for Casey, that's a DQ.
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's a bunch of great athletes here, but Casey's so strong, her lower body, she's so quick and agile. I would have picked her as one of the athletes that was going to break through the steamroller, and she didn't get there.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you there. I think I've seen her do balance obstacles and agility obstacles before and look pretty confident on them, and I definitely agree with you on that one.
Wow, this course is eating experienced professional athletes up, but we have somebody coming up next who is as experienced as professional as you get. Joe Moravsky stepped into the course. We'll see how he does, if he can break through where we haven't really seen any athletes yet. Nice dismount there.
Super casual for Joe there.
I love it.
It was great. Well, Joe, coming off of sort of a disappointing performance at the second major where he was first place in the semifinals and then dropped to last place in the finals, finished in 10th, and now he's sitting on the season with 47 points in 16th place.
Right, and so he has to make it. Oh, man!
Gets through the steamroller. That was one obstacle that I was really worried about for him.
Yeah. I'm worried about for anybody, but you know, he barely make it through it, but you see, like, that doesn't faze him at all. Joe is so great. He's got so much experience. He got through it. That's all he cares about, and it's now in the past. But like we were talking about, he's sitting 47 points, 16th place. He has to make it to the third major if he wants to make it to the championship, and a competitor like him, you know that's what he's going for.
And I think he's the first athlete who's gotten that back peg out just right on the first try. Nice and smooth.
Well, he probably sees people getting stuck and tries things a little bit differently. He's so good at strategizing.
Are we going to see him go for this? Okay. Match his hands there. Wow.
I like that. The pole is in play. You can use the pad. And I like the koala, nice pull through to the side and dismount. Pretty easy. About
now we've got
a minute and a half.
Got the given swings. We'll see if he makes this look as easy as Thomas Stillings did.
I don't know if anybody's going to make it look as easy as Thomas did, to be honest. And I know Joe is amazing, but here we go. I like it, pausing just to get his momentum.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Make sure you're being safe. And I like that too. You can always adjust up. Oh.
He's getting a little low. All right.
And he's through.
Certainly not an obstacle I expected Joe to fail there.
You know, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen an obstacle quite like that before. But I've seen plenty of obstacles like this, the minefield, and this has got to be nothing for Joe. He's done tons of things like this. I like he keeps his swing there.
Well, this is what makes Joe such an amazing athlete. Is just the way that he moves on the obstacles. He keeps his swing. He gets on and off things so quickly, saving energy.
And he's given himself a ton of time. He's got 1 minute and 20 seconds left for 4 obstacles. I mean, it's going to be tight, but he's given himself the time that he needs to finish it. And starting with the rising limit here, which is a very tough obstacle.
We've seen Joe compete on stage 3 on American Ninja Warrior so many times that a grip intensive obstacle like this, he's prepared for this.
I'm sure he's done his fair share of vertical limits. And is he going for both sides? Yep. Up in no time at all.
I mean, he looks like he's holding onto a bar here, and those vertical limits are so tiny.
No problem here. Got to get to the other side. He goes under. We saw Thomas go through.
Keep those feet up.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, that was pretty quick for Joe.
And he's got less than 30 seconds left. He's going to have to move.
Well,
taking a brief pause, but you got 20 seconds. You got to go, Joe. If he finishes this will put him in first place. Come on, Joe.
The rope swing. Oh, and he just didn't have enough.
Just comes up a little short on that dismount. I love that obstacle so much.
Well, it's a cool obstacle, you know, and it's hard for the athletes because you don't want too much swing because you don't want to overshoot it. You don't want too little swing because then that happens.
Right.
And you got to be just right.
Right. The landing pad is, I think it's like this wide, and that's like a 50-foot swing. That's humongous.
It's so much to prepare for as you're swinging through the air to hit such a tiny landing platform.
Yeah, especially an obstacle like that. It's an obstacle that if I was going up there, I'd want to be able to like look at it for a second, you know, and he had like 20 seconds left. He just couldn't.
You have to
just
go.
grab it and go.
Because you still have another obstacle.
I know.
But honestly, that's a great run from Joe, and you know, we'll see how that stacks up.
Yeah, but next up we have Lucas Rial, amazing athlete, one of the younger competitors, has broken out the last couple years and had a little bit of an early fall at center court in the last round of qualifiers. But we're going to see how he does on this one. Monster jump, very smooth.
Well, Lucas trains a lot with Dave Kavanaugh, somebody that we've seen in UNX, saw him at our second major. He'll be competing later.
They run the power tower together in A&W last year.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. You know, they train together. It's so awesome when you have athletes of this caliber training together and pushing each other. Nice.
I love that approach. I mean, it's not too fast. You can see he hits the top on every roller.
And a nice amount of momentum going to that trampoline. He's looking great right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's at 48 seconds.
And you can see he couldn't get a big reach there because the rope there got wrapped around his arm a little bit. There you go. It's pretty smooth. Let's see if you can get this peg out easy. Nice.
I think I'll make one more move and then probably go for the dismount here.
Oh, and you can
really
see
good.
he learned right there from his mistake earlier of getting the rope wrapped around. And he's going for one more move. Might as well make the dismount nice and easy.
Little extra precaution.
And just a nice simple drop there at 1.5 minutes into the course. Right around the same pace as Moravsky was. And the Gibbon swings. I like the amount of swing he's got here. Yes.
Wow. He's getting a little lower. Gosh, keep those feet up. Every single time you got lower and lower.
I love it, though. I mean, he knew he had enough to get to the pad, and so he didn't want to stop and waste time and energy. And he's through.
You're right.
Yeah. Still on the course.
Gave me a heart attack, but that's okay.
And you can see, I mean, he's on the minefield. Every one of the athletes is standing there watching because they know at this point there's so much to learn. We haven't seen that many athletes get here. And Lucas is so strong and respected in the ninja community. I like that connecting.
Yeah, it's always a thing. You want to watch people who are so proven, and there's so much information that you can get.
Yeah.
With every obstacle that they tackle.
He's got about a minute and a half left, so right about the same amount of time that Joe had. Joe took a decent amount of rest here. We'll see how much Lucas takes. It doesn't look like he's going to take very much.
We'll see if he goes one side or chooses to use both.
He's going both.
That is a tough transition there.
Big pullback, nice.
Nice, gets the car grenade.
Keeps his momentum.
It's going under.
That was really smooth. And car grenades are something you kind of look past. It's like, car grenades are easy. They're not. It's just they take time and effort, and that's a big thing. We have 40 seconds left.
40 seconds, I think that's enough time. I mean,
for 2 obstacles, and the last obstacle is a warp wall, so he's definitely got time. 30 seconds now.
Huge rope swing here.
And we see nobody. Thomas got here, Joe got here. They didn't complete it.
Oh my God!
He's good.
Oh my gosh!
He's got 15 seconds. Okay.
Well, now he's got to get up to the 18-footer.
And you can use that slot at 16 feet. Oh no! Come on, less than 10 seconds.
Come on,
you don't
he's
have
got
time.
to get another run in here.
Come on, Lucas.
This has got to be it.
Oh no!
And that is time, but an incredible run.
Wow, that was so awesome.
He had so much air time. You could see him in the air making that landing.
No, he was not in control, I feel like. He came down like on his side and his back, but he was so precise in where he landed. That was the important part. And you saw everyone go nuts when he stuck it.
Blew up. It was awesome, but unfortunately couldn't get up the 18-footer.
But, I mean, he couldn't get up the 18-footer, but he's sitting in first place right now. Let's take a look at the leaderboard to see where everyone is sitting. And, you know, we see that he is sitting in first place, the only one to get to that last obstacle. And right behind him, Joe Moravsky and Thomas Stillings taking the second and third spot as the only other athletes to get to that humongous rope swing, which is called Flight Risk, by the way. Amazing name. April came up with that. And so they're sitting top 3. Nolan in 4th place and John Godbout sitting in 5th place.
Thomas Stillings sitting in 3rd place. Right now, he's on the hot seat, and this is a place that we've seen Thomas fall.
No!
We've seen this in so many qualifiers. Thomas just missing out, and there are so many competitors left, and we'll see if he can hold on to that spot.
There are, and I feel like more of the course is getting unlocked as we go, which is not good for Thomas. We've seen, I mean, Lucas and Joe both got to that obstacle faster than Thomas, so even if Lucas hadn't beaten the flight risk, then he would have been, you know, bumping Thomas at 3rd spot. I don't think it's looking good for Thomas right now.
Yeah, it's tough. But then let's take a look at the women's leaderboard. And in first, we've got Jordan Carr, Mia Lazarowitz in 2nd place, and then Casey Rothschild in 3rd. But unfortunately, Casey, I mean, not too far into the course.
She beat one obstacle. And unfortunately, I mean, any other women beats the monster jump, and she's bumped out. Because Jordan and Mia are the only ones getting to that 4th obstacle, the steamroller, and I don't feel good about anyone sitting in these spots because you just get there faster than any of these athletes, or you beat that obstacle, and then Jordan, Mia, Casey, they slowly start getting bumped out. I don't like the spot that any of them are sitting in right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough spot to be in. I mean, we'll see. I thought that the women who've tackled the monster jump so far, even the ones that have been disqualified, it hasn't looked too bad, and so that does not bode well for Casey. But we'll see.
Yeah, and getting back to runs, we have Adam Burnett, called Adam Lats, because the dude is jacked. You know, we've seen him compete before, and unfortunately, he's gone out a lot earlier than expected in both the comps. But I mean, well respected, especially on the East Coast. That looked easy.
Yeah, that looked pretty simple.
Going through really fast through here, which I like. You know, now we've seen men's athletes get a lot further in the course. Don't waste time on stuff like that. I think it all comes down to this, though.
And another athlete just hits every one, stays on top.
It looks so easy when he does it right like that. I don't like how he doesn't have much swing, though.
Whoa. Little stumble there on the trampoline, but he's able to save it and collect himself. You can see the rope is kind of around that. Made a big move there, had some trouble getting the peg out.
And it looks he actually broke the ropes on there. So Drew's going to hand him the other peg while he's moving, because normally that he would have taken the other peg with him. It doesn't look like it's phasing him whatsoever.
Now he's got to make the dismount here. Nice.
All right. He's now sitting at minute 20 faster than we saw Lucas and Joe here, and almost no rest. He's getting low. That was really smooth.
Just connects every move. It makes it look easy.
He's taking no rest. I think he's seeing that athletes are now getting to the end of the course, and he's realizing that time is going to make a big difference in who qualifies and who doesn't. And he is blazing. He's not even at 2 minutes yet.
I mean, Adam's been on the other side of not qualifying for one of these majors, and so
wow,
he knows that you got to move in these things.
He is at 2 minutes right now. For reference, when we saw Joe and Lucas here, they were at about 2:30 when they cleared that obstacle. So he's 30 seconds ahead of our top two competitors right now.
And he's jumping right into it here.
Makes me worried, but I think he's got the strength to do it.
This is a big move.
Nice.
Wow. And he's onto the cargo net. He has so much time.
And you see what he's doing with his hands. Look at, he's wrapping his wrists around when he can and not using his grip strength. That's so smart.
His leg's a little caught up there. All right, gets it out.
And on this dismount, you're allowed to use any of those pegs to grab because they're there, you know. And he's got more than a minute left. So he's actually got time to eye this thing up. We just saw Lucas get through this obstacle, so we know it can be done. He's got the time to eye it up.
Oh, and he looks really smooth there on that rope swing.
That was about as good as I think we're going to ever see that obstacle done. He's got 40
seconds for the 18-footer.
And like, he's got the time to take a breath and wipe his shoes off.
He's catching his breath. I mean,
might as well. You got the time, you know. Clear the course.
I mean, might as well, but at the same time, it's a wall run. I would have liked to have seen him go a little earlier, but he's got it here.
He's got it. It's a wall run, and our first finisher, Adam Burnett. Holy cow.
Finally, I mean, we've seen somebody break in, and there was nothing on that course that tripped him up.
You know, that's the crazy thing is we've seen so many amazing athletes go out in so many different spots, and Adam, I mean, really, I think the only thing was at the pipe slider dismount, he stumbled a little bit, but other than that, he looked like he was just waltzing through the course. Yeah, let me just go through, do my own thing, and go ahead and hit a buzzer when nobody else has yet, and puts him in first place.
Well, I especially like the way that he handled the flight risk, coming in hot off that rope. I mean, the smoothest that we've seen, made a very casual landing.
I don't know how he did that. I'll be honest, I tested that obstacle, and I never looked that casual. It was always, oh, God, you know?
He looked so smooth on it.
That was amazing.
Awesome.
I wonder if we're going to see athletes take that approach of just trying to, you know, land really gingerly on their feet. Now that we've seen Adam do that, I mean, it's like what else has been unlocked now?
Well, I mean, yeah. Now we've seen athletes. We saw athletes breaking through. So now Adam does it really fast and finishes the course. And so is it just going to start getting faster and faster?
I don't know. I have no idea, and we're going to find out. But next up, we have Abby Clark, in my opinion, the favorite to win this competition on the women's side. And we'll see how she does. A lot of gymnastic-y movements here, and she has that gymnastics background through the first obstacle confidently.
Nice jump. Abby's coming off a first-place performance at the second major.
She's already qualified because of that first place. She's qualified for the third major. So right now she's running with, I feel like, very little nerves compared to some other athletes. She's probably feeling pretty good about herself right now.
Yeah, definitely good competition for her to get some experience.
And cleared, and here we go. I mean, in my mind, Abby has all the components necessary to get through this obstacle. I think composure is going to be the biggest one, and I think we're going to see it right here.
It's all about the foot placement. Oh, no. I mean, she had her feet what looked to be in good positions on each of the rollers. It looked like when she hit the last one, she just didn't really get the jump off of it.
Yeah, her feet were, just like you said, like in perfect spot. It looked like she was so controlled and then just couldn't reach the trapeze.
Yeah, I think she just needed a little bit more of a jump, but I mean, it's easier said than done on something that's bouncing and rolling and all over the place.
And taking out Najee Richardson. I mean, it's taken out a lot of athletes so far, and Abby Clark is now added to that list, unfortunately. But next up, we have True Becker stepping up to the starting line. Younger athlete, but very strong. A big pullback. Nice dismount there. Oh!
Okay.
That was awesome. You see a smile on Drew's face there. He loves it.
One other thing about running these courses is, you want to stay in the zone and focused, and you got to have fun out there.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
A very slow approach. Oh.
I think, like you said, very slow. I think it was a little too slow. You want to be slow enough where you're not misplacing your feet, but I think there you're standing on those logs for too long, and it gives your feet more time to slowly roll forward and push you off.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what we saw, especially because they're bouncing too a little bit, and so there's so much movement that just going that slow, there's so much more time for it to start moving on you.
Right, and now we have Joe Meisner, killer. And, last time, we saw him, he missed out at center court, but the time before that, alternate routes, he was the only course finisher.
Really smooth there on the monster jump.
I like it. I'm just stepping in, smart move, making his way through the sinking spider pretty quickly.
Well, Joe has unbelievable upper body strength. This is an obstacle that does worry me.
Come on, Joe.
And a nice fast approach, and he's through.
Well, there's a lot of upper body left, so I would expect some big things from Joe from this point on.
Okay, a little close. Got his toes on the just scared me a little bit.
He's moving on.
Well, Joe is in such an interesting position because, he's sitting in 17th place in the season standings, but getting back to the third major would give him a shot at the championship.
Right. And I'm a little worried about his pace here. We saw Adam Burnett going really fast. And look, we saw another malfunction. But Drew gives him the peg, and he's moving on. Peg getting stuck a little bit.
This is the pace, though, that I think we're used to seeing Joe compete at. He's not one of these blazing fast he's more of a composed athlete, more methodical in his approach to the course.
Right, and he's not going slow by any means. Right now he's on Moravsky's pace and Lucas Rial's pace. I like it. Keep those feet up.
Get up.
Oh my gosh. I don't like watching people's feet on that obstacle. Joe, you're scaring me. And he's got the timer on his watch. He knows what he's doing. He's been competing for a long time. Even though he's a younger athlete, he's so experienced. All right, here we go.
He's looking really good right here.
Cleared. Getting some chalk, and he's at about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So he's not quite on Adam Burnett's pace, but he is a little faster than Joe Moravsky and Lucas Rial. He's put himself in a pretty good spot so far.
Choosing to go up one side here.
Some big moves there. Wow.
And so much strength there from Joe.
No kidding. Nice grab.
Gets the cargo net.
Deciding to go under, keeping his feet up. Getting a little caught up there. Every second matters, though.
Cargo nets are so underrated in how tricky they are.
I know. That's a couple seconds there. All right, he's got 45 seconds left. That's a really good amount of time.
Going right into the flight risk.
So he's got, if he wants to take a second, he can.
It's all about the landing here. He's eyeing it up.
Come on, Joe.
He's a little far.
Oh, and just overshoots the dismount. No!
What do you do at that point when you're swinging through the air, like when you know you've got a little bit too much?
Well,
how do you adjust?
I mean, it's about the point that you release, because if you have too much, if you release right at that perfect point to get, too far, it's going to throw you over. So you either hang on a little bit more and you rise up and come down onto it. It's really hard to judge, or you release a little bit earlier and try to line drive it. I think it's a jump like that, a launch like that is so hard to judge how much swing you need exactly. So honestly, I would get a little bit more swing, like the amount that he had, and just wait a little longer and try to go up and come down nice onto it. But easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, you could see there's so much time in the air, and you could see he just overshot the pad. So unfortunately,
that's it.
That's it.
That's it for Joe. Next up, we have Aidan Wood, who is at our second major, and here he is at Real Life Ninja Academy trying to get back again. He was one of our course finishers at Warrior Jungle in the last round.
Finished with like a second left. He was really close.
Cut it close. But being a finisher on any course and any time left in UNX is really difficult. And so far, if you have finished a UNX qualifying course, you qualified. You made it to the majors. Nobody has finished a course and not gone to the major. So you just got to finish, Aidan.
Hey, just finish the course.
Oh,
nice
man.
there. Gets to the steamroller. It's so easy for us to sit here and say, oh, just finish the course.
Right.
You can see the rope getting a little wrapped around his hand there.
Mm-hmm.
Making smaller, faster moves.
Mm-hmm. Deciding to go for the end there.
Well, the closer you get the peg to the ring, the easier it's going to be to take it off, as you can see right there.
He's locked off so high there. Looking good.
Getting that rope around. You can see he's a little caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rope is wrapped on his arm, it gives him a little bit less of a reach.
Yep. Getting the dismount. Nice.
It's a good dismount there, about average pace, same as about Joe, Meisner, and Moravsky. And
yeah, average pace compared to Moravsky and Lucas and Meisner.
It's a good pace to be on.
Yeah. That looked really nice. I like how he stayed up high the entire time, and we were never looking at his feet, wondering if he was going to touch.
Now he's onto the minefield.
Just one arm swinging through. I love this.
I haven't seen anybody fail this obstacle so far, but it's definitely an energy burner.
It is an energy burner. You got to be really precise. I wouldn't say it's easy by any stretch, but I think that obstacle, for the athletes that are getting here, it's really tough to get there. I wouldn't expect many of them to fall on it, but it's just how efficiently are you going to get through it?
Aidan going for this rising limit here.
This
is going to be a tough move here.
Oh. Come on, Aidan.
Got his hands on.
Doesn't look super comfortable, but he's got it.
Wow. You could definitely see he was a little uncomfortable there. On the, oh no! Well, he was at about 255, had some time left.
Man.
Just didn't quite get where he wanted to on the cargo net.
And that's one of the things I think we've been, we don't talk about as much, is that transition isn't one that you think that's going to be a huge fall point, but every move counts, and it's not easy. You're coming off of this battering ram that spins, going to a cargo net, and if you miss a hand, that's a lot of force going to pull you off, just like we saw happen to Aidan there. Every move counts.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really overlook anything in this course.
Right, and unfortunately, that's it for Aidan. Strong run, but next up we have Connor Galvin stepped up to starting line. We've seen him compete in UNX qualifiers every round of qualifiers, but he hasn't made it to the majors.
And this is the one you think he's going to break through on because you got him in your top athlete predictions.
Connor's awesome, and he's, oh my goodness, I love it.
I love it.
Well, I mean, the gymnastics background also is there. So, I mean, he's just so good.
Oh no! Oh no!
What just happened? What just happened? How does that happen?
He was moving through, and you've said it before that left side does bow a little bit more, and he looked like he was going at a faster pace, and that left foot just slid right out, tried to save it, had it for a second, and then fell.
Wow. That is a humongous upset.
Huge.
That is huge. Somebody like Connor, he's so good at gymnastics movements. He's so good at weird, different movements. And a Drew Drechsel course has a bunch of those moves. That's why Drew Drechsel courses are so hard. And I feel like Connor, all of his strengths play to what this course was offering.
Yeah, and I think we were just talking about not overlooking any particular move watching Aidan's run, and I think it's kind of the same thing as like, you look at this course and there are so many challenging areas that the spider, it's not like you do that all the time, and it's not something that you're going to sit there and think like, oh, I better really take my time on the spider.
And he was wearing Zantes, V2s, you know? What happened, Connor? That's upsetting to watch for sure.
Yeah, that's a huge shock there.
That is tough, but I mean, then that's it. That's ninja. You make a little mistake and then it's over. But next up, we have Rachel DeGoots stepping up to the course, seeing if she can break through. And she trains a ton with Adam Burnett, who we just saw finish the course, still the only course finisher. So you know he probably hopped off and has given her all the tips and advice. Oh, she's
okay.
clear.
Oh, no.
And I think in her run-up on the trampoline, you saw kind of stutter step slow down a little bit. And it's called the monster jump for a reason. You have to have the momentum going in the trampoline if you're going to make it over that thing without using your arms.
Yeah, and I think that's such an obstacle where it's just like sprint to the trampoline, hit it, and get the momentum. And I think you're right. The stutter steps kind of slowed her down a little bit, didn't give her enough to get over.
Wow, an early exit from Rachel. But now we have Blake Fierro stepping up to the starting line, a younger athlete. We've seen him compete before, and
Blake, don't break.
Blake, don't break.
We saw him at alternate routes, put together a very impressive run at his first UNX.
Right, and he ran really early. So now he's gotten to see a couple competitors. Nice. Had the height, made it over. I like how he's staying pretty high here.
Pretty high, locking in every move.
Mm-hmm.
And now up to the steamroller. Seen a lot of success lately on this.
Oh! Wow, what a save! And I love how he saves it and pulls back immediately. No time lost, and he's moving on.
Well, Blake, if that was your audition for a UNX Top 4 moment,
that was huge.
You're doing great. Holy cow.
We'll see how it affects him, though. It looks like he's just continuing to move, and that's the kind of thing in this sport is if you have a mistake like that and you move on, you have to just keep moving. Don't even think about it. Oh,
having some trouble getting those pegs in.
Mm-hmm. And this is the dynamite pegs, again, like just the ropes being connected, I think throws a lot of athletes off.
And he's left that back peg a little far back. He's going to have some trouble. Nope.
Showed you.
Showed me. I thought he would have a little bit more trouble getting it out, but
was having trouble getting onto the next board.
He likes proving us wrong.
He does. Keep proving us wrong, Blake. I want to see it.
Was looking good here. I like the crossovers. Taking a little bit of time here, and he's lining up for that dismount.
Early dismount. Matching. Hey.
Wow. I like that because, especially with the save that he had earlier, he is getting, it's a little bit slower of a pace. Keep those feet up. Come on, Blake. Gotta keep the
Come
feet up.
on, nice.
Oh.
What a save. He's had a couple close calls already, but he's still on the course, and he's got about 1 minute and 45 seconds left, which is not a ton of time at this point.
Not a ton of time, making his way through the minefield.
He's looking really efficient here, though.
Yeah, he looks really good.
Yes, he's making up some time. I'll say that much. Oh, come on. Nice backwards.
A nice backwards dismount there.
I like that, though. Okay, get a little squirrely, grab it, and just, work with what you got. So what if you're backwards?
Now he's coming up on 3 minutes here, and we'll see if he has the energy to get through this rising limit.
I mean,
this is such a challenging obstacle.
And we kind of saw, I think, a little bit of that coming. Is he didn't, because he got caught up a little bit in a couple different spots, he didn't have the time to rest, but also, like you said, he had 1 minute left. You have to go.
I mean, yeah, you have to go at that point. But honestly, I love to watch course runs like this. I mean, just one thing after another of big save, adapt, like collect yourself and move forward.
Yeah.
And there were so many moments here in Blake's run that was just like, okay, he saved it and he's going.
Oh, I caught one hand. Don't care. Oh, I missed the pace. Who cares? Given swings getting low, I'll fix it and move on. I love it. I mean, it just shows how, yeah, he's a younger athlete, but how experienced he is already to just kind of deflect those things and keep moving.
Yeah, absolutely. But then speaking of younger athletes, next up we've got Jay Lewis.
Jay Lachey.
Jay Lachey, we also saw him at alternate routes.
Yeah. I mean, the East Coast has so many young athletes that are high-quality, elite athletes. That was nice.
That was nice.
See him get his legs like all the way up to his shoulders at that.
Oh, a little slip there.
Saved it.
But we saw Jay compete at the alternate routes qualifier for the first major, and he looked amazing.
Very impressive, yeah. Wow, that's about as good as that obstacle is going to look. Going right into mixed grip.
And gets the trampoline.
Looking great so far.
45 seconds in, he's looking good. He's got a lot of swing here.
He's going to the end of the board. So we've seen about half the athletes go to the end, half, leave it earlier, but it makes it so much easier to take that peg out.
Look at how high he's locked off here on this ring.
Uh-oh.
And that's burning so much energy there.
Yeah, he saves it, though.
Make me a little nervous, though.
Yeah, that's going to eat up time and energy. We just saw it with Blake. Wow, with that early dismount, getting him right back on track under 1 minute 30 when he dismounted on a great pace. Wow.
Oh, you think he's confident in doing this?
Hey, what? Wow.
You think he's ever seen that move before?
My goodness. Well, Dreshel loves those types of moves, and he trains with Drew.
Oh, I guarantee he's done that before
a
few times.
No kidding. He was like releasing his backhand before he even had his next hand on the next bar.
And he's making this minefield look like nothing. But that is so cool to see, especially around the country at the different gyms, some of the younger athletes who train with veterans from American Ninja, everyone has a different training style.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that kind of carry over into the younger athletes.
Yeah. And look at, he's cruising right now. He is not quite on Adam Burnett's pace, but I think he's the second fastest to this point.
And he's making this vertical limit look easy.
Wow. How do you get that much swing on a vertical limit?
We'll see if we saw Aidan fail this, but Jay's got it.
That was really confident dismount there.
Honestly, with the vertical limit, I always worry with the younger competitors that maybe they haven't trained it enough. It's not at a lot of gyms. And Jay just made that look easy.
Mm-hmm. Kind of close on that dismount, honestly, but he's got over 1 minute left, and he's going right into flight risk.
Well, this obstacle...
He's having trouble getting it off of the Velcro. Okay, there we go.
This obstacle is all about timing here.
Here we go, Jay!
Just overshoots the landing.
Yeah, a little bit much on that dismount there, but he got there so fast. That puts him in a really, really good spot. Probably close to right around the bubble, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he got there really fast and unfortunately just overshot the landing. We've seen that a couple times now. And I go back to it's just so hard to make that adjustment. But I watched that obstacle, and fail or not, that looks like a blast.
It looks like awesome. It looks awesome. And next up, we have Elijah Browning, another younger athlete stepping up to the course. We've seen him compete. He was just at St. Louis and was looking great until he had an early exit on the wingnuts. But Elijah's a great athlete, great kid.
Ooh.
He's fine.
He's
okay.
fine, yeah.
He's good.
His hand kind of came down a little bit, but he brought it back up.
Yeah.
Scared me a little.
Yeah. Nice dismount. And here we go.
Well, the steamroller was so challenging early on, but I think a lot of athletes getting confidence on it now.
Oh
my
man. Elijah. And he's moving on. Nice. Going right into the dynamite pegs. You know, I wondered for a while why they call it the dynamite pegs. They look like little dynamites, you know?
Yeah. Like,
and the rope connecting them, that's the wick. What do you call it? Not the wick.
The fuse?
The fuse.
Yeah. I've seen enough cartoons to know that those look like dynamites. Elijah's looking good here.
Yep, I like that. Gets on to the next board in one try. I don't know if I like that.
I mean, I guess I could see, he's on a good hold on the ring, and it's right in front of him. Why not just put it back up? But
yeah.
Maybe a little unnecessary.
Yeah, it worked for him, though. Now he's getting close to this dismount. Good swing. This looks like it should be easy enough for him.
Yep, pretty casual dismount there. It's at about 1:55.
Here we go.
A little bit slower pace.
Onto the Gibbon swings. Oh! Now you cannot use your knees. Yeah, no knees, no legs. You got a hip hop to save it, which he does. Interesting. I haven't seen anybody go through like this.
Well, we saw one athlete earlier do that on the very last move, and I thought it would be an interesting strategy. We see Elijah makes it look pretty good there.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. I mean, somebody like Jay has probably done that move so many times. Elijah doesn't look as comfortable on it, but adapts and gets through.
Yeah. That's what it's about. Getting a pull back in his swing just right.
Oh no, his hand kind of got caught up on the nunchuck there, and it held him back from getting to the bar.
Yeah, and that's something that happens a lot is when you start to get really pumped, and I don't know if this would happen, I'm guessing, when you get really pumped, it's hard to open up your hands and let go at the exact time you're telling your body to do so. And so I think he probably just was trying to let go, and it just kind of stuck a little bit because he's so pumped his hands are stuck in this like claw position.
Yeah, I mean, two things. We saw him on the dynamite boards. I think he made a couple of extra moves. He was hanging there for a long time. And then on the Gibbon swings, when he had to climb back up the bar, I mean, that takes so much energy.
For sure. Next up, we have Tyler stepping up to the course, taking his shot at this course. We only got one finisher so far.
They're going for that rappel run. Oh!
Hey, he makes it.
I love it. Full commitment onto that landing platform.
Now the monster jump.
Oh, did his hand come down? Drew's giving him the high five. Yep.
It looked pretty cut and dry. His hand went down. Unfortunately, that's the end of his run. But it's so tough. You got to have the height to make sure that you're not going to put your arms down.
Yeah, I mean, it's so natural to try to. Oh, I'm going to help myself.
Yeah. Next up, we have Mike Ravert stepping up to the course. We saw him competing at Movement Lab, taken out by the Salmon Ladder. But, he's coming off an injury, and he's had a couple more weeks to train. Mike is so skilled, so good. I worry about, coming off an injury if he's got the strength yet to make it through this difficult of a course.
Well, he was looking good at Movement Lab, and like you said, taken out by the salmon ladder, which is more of a, I don't know if that was necessarily a strength issue there.
Mm-hmm. Did it roll? And here we go.
Nice. Made that look pretty good.
Yeah. Had a tiny bit of a stumble on like the second or third step, but then recovered very easily. And going right into it, yes!
I love it. Sometimes the transitions in between obstacles will just save you those couple extra seconds that you're going to need to rest later on down the road.
I love it. And he's the first person to transition like that without taking a rest.
Oh, and he's going for a figure 4 here. This is a technique that we saw at our Ultimate Ninjas St. Louis qualifier. Locking that leg in actually helps you.
It does.
But right now he's he's spinning a lot. He's having some trouble.
There you go. And it does save energy, but that took him so much more time. I feel like because he missed the peg a couple times, it ended up costing him more.
Yeah, now, he did have a good pace up until this obstacle, but this is taking a lot of time here. I really want to see him get off of this quick.
Well, he spent so much time on his hands right now. And, the string, like the next 6 obstacles are all upper body.
It's at 2:07.
And I like that he doesn't rest there because he knows you have to go. If you want a chance to qualify, you have to move at this point. Oh.
Bangs his knee there a little bit. That doesn't feel good.
But he's continuing to move. And like we said, incidental is okay, hitting your legs. Come on, Mike. Oh, my
gosh. Well, now he's at 2:30. He's got to pick up the pace here a little bit.
It's so tough because you're right, he's got to pick up the pace, but the reason that he's got this pace is because he's been on the obstacles longer than other athletes to this point, so he's probably more tired here than other athletes who have gotten to the same spot.
And I think just so much time spent on the dynamite boards, just burning your grip there and then having to go from the nunchucks. That's a tough Lachey on vertical holds, so tough there.
Very tough. But next up we have Anthony DeFranco, very proven, experienced athlete. We've seen him get through some really difficult courses over the years. See if he can do it here. And he's such a fast athlete too. I would expect him to blaze through. Whoa! That was huge, and I loved it.
Yeah, Anthony's definitely one of the faster athletes. Every athlete has their own style. Some are fast, some like to be composed. You and I, very different.
We are very different. But, different styles work better in different courses. And I think his agility is going to work out for him here.
Yep.
Oh! I hate seeing athletes' feet slip on that, but he made it through.
Okay. Got that? I don't think anything else on this course gets me as nervous as that silly little dismount. And most of the athletes probably feel fine on it, but I'm so scared watching it.
Well, he's making some pretty big and aggressive moves here. I like it a lot. He's on a good pace. Gets out in one move.
Oh, you like big and aggressive moves?
One of me?
You like big aggressive moves? That's a shock. We talked about at the beginning of his run, the pace, the speed of this guy. He's at 1 minute and 20 seconds here.
Yeah.
Looking great.
Looking pretty darn good and off in under 1.5 minutes. Taking a little bit of a breather and going right into it. Oh, baby. Yes! Oh, when it looks good, it looks so good. And no rest before the minefield.
I don't know if there's anything that gets you as excited as somebody doing something continuously.
Link it, do it. Oh, look at that, he links it.
I mean, he looks so strong here. He's at about 2 minutes. So much time to rest.
Holy cow, he's at 2 minutes. Adam Burnett is the only other person we've seen on this pace, and he's our only finisher. Will we see another?
I mean, he's got the time here.
Come on, Anthony. Okay.
This is the only thing that worries me is this transition here from the vertical limit.
Come on.
Oh, no!
He had the distance, he had the launch, and he just put his hands up too early, caught the strap, and that was it.
Yeah, you can see his hand just hits that strap, and he can't get around to the battering ram. And like I was saying, is those tiny little finger grips, he had so much time. He was moving through at such an amazing pace, and unfortunately, just one little slip there.
Oh, man, he was looking so good to that point. What an impressive run to that spot. But next up, we have Mark Antiochia stepping up to the starting line, taking his shot on this brutal course. Only one finisher so far.
Mark and Anthony trained together a lot at Center Court in New Jersey.
Yep. Nice.
There you go.
Nice little box jump for Mark. Oh, come on.
Ooh, you can see it's moving out there.
Mark, come on.
A huge save right there.
Holy cow.
You can see how spread he got. I can't believe he saved that. That was incredible.
Me either. It's a double save. Nice.
Looked very smooth there.
Yep.
Gets the pipe a little bit crooked, but is able to fix it.
Yep. You know, I've seen Mark, his upper body strength is so amazing. You see him locking off through here when he needs to. So easy for him.
Nice, gets that peg out pretty smoothly there.
I like the composure we're seeing here. Just hanging out, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
No
he's
need
nice
to
and
rush
calm.
it.
And that's something that you especially want in an obstacle like this. Like, you know it's going to take a long time. You want to be calm and relaxed and not over gripping.
But it is taking him a really long time. He's over 2 minutes now, which worries me for the rest of the course.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw Anthony DeFranco was at the rising limit at this point.
Yeah. And we talk about it all the time. Not only does he have the same amount of course to go through in a lot less time, but he's used more energy to get to this point. It's going to be tough to make his way through the rest of this course with this time left.
And you can see every move he's got to go. He's got to get himself back up.
Fingertip save.
And he's getting lower and lower. Oh, come on, Mark.
Almost there.
This is going to burn so much grip here.
I think that strategy of going on the backswing there, it takes more time, it takes more energy. It's so much tougher to do.
But if you've never done the other style where you kind of swing through on each,
I mean, I agree with you, but I think you have to go for it. You have to try. That's clearly the more efficient way. You have to go for it because otherwise you're going to be spending an extra 20 seconds and 20 seconds of energy on vertical grip, pulling in. I think it's a death sentence.
Yeah, and I think every time you could see him having to move back up on the pipes, it's just such a burner there.
Yeah, very tough. Next up, we have Dave Kavanaugh, who has been the hero many times, the one to break through. I mean, we saw at Austin Ninja's last round of qualifiers. He got further than anybody else. His technique and skill and his mindset are just so much better than a lot of other athletes.
I mean, whenever Dave's on the course, he's always in my picks to take top 3. He's so proven. He's so creative in the way that he tackles these obstacles. Really fun to watch him compete.
Yeah. And really good, light on his feet too. I wouldn't expect this one to be too much of an issue for him.
He's going really slow here.
I think he just went too slow. I think it's just literally just too slow. If you're going that slow, your margin for error is so much smaller. You have to be exactly in the right spot, and your feet can't move at all, because if they do, you have more time for your feet to get further and further off center.
Well, I mean, it looked good for the first couple steps, and then that last step, he went for the jump, and he just didn't have it.
Yeah. And that is it for Dave Kavanaugh. Huge shock. But next up, we have Nikki Perella stepping up to the course. And Nikki was at our first major event. She's competed in actually more qualifiers than any other athlete at this point, and gets that dismount.
Yeah, sticks the landing on the dismount there. Got to commit here on this trampoline jump. Wow.
Nice. Great save. Keeps her hands up. I know we talked to you have a reaction. You want to put your hands down, but she's thinking, clear the obstacle.
Yeah, I mean, an amazing save there. You could see just keeping her hands up above her head to make sure she didn't put them down.
And she's cleared. And we haven't seen any women get past the steamroller yet. Can Nikki be the first?
Yeah, this has been such a ninja killer.
Take her time, shaking out a little bit.
Well, this has got to be so mental at this point. I mean, no woman competitor has made it through this.
Yeah, and she's running late in the order. I like what she's doing. Why rush it? At this point, if you clear this obstacle, you sit in first place no matter what. So take your time. Looking good. Oh, no. Wow, that was really close.
Every step looked good until the last barrel.
Just behind, maybe a couple inches. That looked about as good as we've seen any women's competitor on that obstacle. So controlled.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she had a really good chance to get through that, but honestly, it's a great run and puts her into the top 3.
Yeah. And next up, we have Michael Elwell stepping up to the course. Michael jumping right on in. Big pullback. And clear.
Nice.
And just comes up a little short. I mean, that's why you have the spotters there. Greg Schwartz is right there to make sure people don't fall back in the trampoline. But that's just it. That's the end of your run. You can't look past that obstacle.
Yeah, I mean, I think he hit the trampoline too far forward and just didn't get enough to get over.
Yeah. Had the height, but just not the distance, I feel like.
Yeah.
But next up, we have Judas Liccardello, who is a beast, absolute monster, and so entertaining to watch. Cleared easy on number 1. He's got a lot of run up. What are we going to see here? Hey,
there you go.
Just a little roll off the top. I like it.
I like it.
Judas always has some kind of weird thing up his sleeve. Even when he's not wearing sleeves. Yeah.
He doesn't even have sleeves on.
And
we've seen him compete a couple times, but just hasn't put together that run to send him to a major.
Always on the cusp, though. Pretty close.
Oh, and he went for the skip.
We saw Josiah Propel try the skip earlier. I don't think the skip is the way to go, because it's more weight on the 3rd barrel and then more weight on the 5th barrel. And more weight on any of those barrels is a terrible idea, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. And we haven't seen a lot of athletes since Josiah try that. And yeah, I think you're right. It's just, it doesn't seem like the right strategy.
That is tough for Judas. I mean, especially we'd probably see some special things from him. Maybe even a flyaway on the flight risk if you'd have gotten there. But next up, we have Eli Chevalier stepping up to the start. Another really strong, proven athlete. Wow, I like that a lot. Connecting it, no time loss whatsoever.
Hey!
Looking good out there, Eli.
Oh my gosh.
Eli's. What? I think it's just a shock when that left side bows out, not expecting it to push you down like that.
It shocks me, that's for sure.
Scary.
All right, Eli, he's on to the steamroller. We'll see if he can get through this. Just saw Judas go down.
Eyeing up a little bit.
Oh.
Foot placement, right? I mean, what did you see there?
That's exactly right. I mean, it's foot placement. He had his foot too far back on the last barrel. When he went to make the jump, it spun out on him, and there was no chance.
I think a really big problem for a lot of athletes on that obstacle is normally you're going through a balance to a landing pad. So you're always kind of looking down, but there you have to transition to look up. So if you look up too early, now you're not watching where your feet are going, and I think that's what's happening. That's what just happened to Eli. I think he looked up looking for that trapeze, and his foot goes where his foot goes.
Well, yeah, and this obstacle is kind of coming full circle now, where it's like in the beginning of the day we saw it really challenging, then it was kind of unlocked, and now our athletes trying to go too fast and try to get to the back half, and now they're kind of overlooking this obstacle.
I think that's exactly it. Is they're seeing now you have to get to the end, you have to do this, you have to go quickly, and some of the things that are taken for granted are now punishing athletes again.
Yeah, but next up we've got Anthony Eardley. We'll see if he can get past the steamroller.
Super fast athlete, super powerful. I love watching Anthony run courses.
And also definitely a risk taker.
Yes, big time. We've seen him take a couple risks. Some have not paid off. Whoa!
Oh my God.
I love it. Looking very comfortable. Looks like he's having fun, you know?
I'm having fun just watching it.
I'm having a lot of fun. And here we go. Steamroll. It's been taking athletes out in the last couple of competitors.
And we just talked about it. He's a risk taker. He's a really fast athlete. When the risks pay off, I mean, they're amazing. But again, it's another risk that he's trying to skip some of the barrels and try to run through it quickly. That just doesn't pay off.
Right. I mean, we've seen athletes go like that moderate to moderate slow pace, and that like people are looking really controlled and really simple going through that. And I think Anthony's thinking, I'm fast, I'm super quick, which he is, but that obstacle does not incentivize you to go really quick on it, because I think we saw him get ahead of his feet. His feet couldn't keep up with his pace.
Right. The most successful athletes that we've seen so far are the ones that are just kind of hitting everyone and going at a moderate pace.
You know, just like that. Next up, we have Ava Colasanti stepping up, and she is coming off of an amazing performance at center court, taking first place in the second round of qualifiers. Nice dismount there.
Oh no, did that hand hit? She's shaking her head. You can see it. Drew calling it out. It didn't even really look like she needed it. She got a little
at all.
She got a little off balance, and that's when it came down. And she picked it up so quick, but it did hit. And unfortunately, that's a DQ.
It definitely looked like it hit, but it's like you said, it was just a reaction, and I don't think it helped her at all. I don't think it did, but those are the rules, and that's exactly why the rule is black and white like that, so it doesn't have to be a judgment call. Did she use it? Did she not use it? Unfortunately for Ava, that means that's the end of her competition, and that's not good enough for top three, which is a huge shocker for Ava, but I mean...
Yeah, definitely somebody that I expected to get back to the third major, especially coming up, after center court first place run. I thought this would be a good course, but yeah, unfortunately hits that hand down.
That is pretty tough. But next up, we have Luke Dillon, another one of the younger athletes we saw at alternate routes break out along with Blake Fierro and Jay Lachey. He's so strong. And I've actually started following him on Instagram since, and holy freaking cow, this dude is impressive. I mean, he's doing things upper body-wise that I wouldn't dream of doing, but I think it comes down to steamroller, especially in the later half of the competition. We're seeing it take out athletes again.
Yeah, I mean, he's running really late in the run order, so he knows what he has to do here.
Wow.
And he looks good there.
Okay. We're back at it.
We're back. We're back in. Oh my gosh. Going up to the dynamite boards here.
I see what you're saying about not liking that pipe slider dismount now. A little scary.
It's very scary. I like this, kind of swinging through, staying relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Pops it out and pops it in.
So smooth.
I think that's actually a really big differentiator for athletes. We've seen that catching athletes a little bit and eating up time and energy. And Luke is looking really smooth here. Is he thinking about a dismount?
Yep, going for it, matches, yep.
Nice. The koala worked out for him. He's at 1:30 right now. So he's on pace with some of the better competitors that have made it deeper into the course. But like Lucas and Joe and Thomas were on about this pace and they didn't have a ton of time.
Nice.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
Wow. Man, that looks so good. God, when that obstacle looks good, it looks awesome.
He's making the minefield look like nothing right now.
Mm-hmm. Keeps his swing.
Yes.
I like it a lot.
Got to reach up to those ropes and then dismount onto this blue pad.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Wow, that was really efficient.
Plenty of time here. He's at about 2:25. Plenty of time to get through these last three obstacles.
Plenty of time, and he's got the strength to do it. We've seen him in other competitions, alternate routes. He was crushing it. Wow, he looks so controlled. Come on. Look at how deep he got onto the Viking ship. So much strength coming off of that vertical limit.
It looks really good.
And he's coming up on 3 minutes now, so he's got a minute to finish this obstacle and then get through flight risk and the warped wall.
So we're hung up on this cargo net here, taking a little bit of extra time.
And this is what we talked about cargo nets is it does eat up time and energy. Oh!
Whoa! Little 1 foot dismount there. All right, now he's onto the flight risk. He's coming up on 30 seconds left.
Not a ton of time.
Not a lot of time. If he wants to be in the top 3, he's got to stick this landing here.
Yep.
We've seen this be so challenging.
Yes, he's got it. Oh, no. That dismount is the bigger blue pad on the right, and it's for that reason is Drew designed it to make it so that you had to control that landing by dismounting to the side. And it looked like he landed and then was kind of like falling and tried to dismount and was just like probably inches away.
Well, he got 2 feet on it, and I thought it was over, and then I think the momentum just carried him, and he tried, like you said, tried to make the jump, but
man, that was looking so good. That was looking so awesome. I thought we were going to get another finisher.
Yeah, I definitely thought we were going to see another finisher there.
But we only have one athlete left, Joe Cappo, who could definitely finish this course, stepping up right now, and he is off.
Joe Cappo, boyfriend of Abby Clark.
Mm-hmm. That was very nice.
So smooth.
I like it.
Those two train together, push each other so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to have a training partner with the same goals.
Goals are hitting buzzers or what?
Hitting buzzers. Hitting buzzers, finishing courses, you know? But Joe missed out on qualifying at center court for the last major.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that looked really nice and going right into the pipe slider. No backswing on that trapeze.
Smooth.
That was about as good as we've seen anybody dismount pipe slider. Did you feel good about that one?
I felt great about that one. Didn't scare me at all.
I think Joe felt great about it too.
Oh. All right, he's looking good right here. Making really good time. Oh, he's getting a little hung up here. Getting circular. Okay, you gotta relax here. This is so tough.
There you go. Okay. You lost a little bit of time, though. That's probably an extra 10 or so seconds just hanging and struggling. Oh, is he going? This is a really early dismount.
This is early. I mean, he just has
Wow.
I mean, just has to get to that pole there.
That looked really nice and made up that time. He's at about 1:30 now. Which,
Oh, no.
just slipped. I mean, it looked like he had the right technique, the right hand placement, and maybe just that extra time on the pegs. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it looked like he chalked up beforehand. I don't know if the chalk threw him off or not.
That might be. I mean, on some surfaces, too much chalk isn't good. And I think on those, like they're a little glossy, that extra chalk may have just pushed him off.
Yeah, honestly, surprising end there for Joe. I mean, I thought he was gonna look pretty smooth through that, and shocking fall there. But let's take a look at our leaderboards.
Right, and starting on the women's side is looking at our top athletes. Nikki Perella getting to the steamroller faster than anybody else in 36 seconds, taking that first qualifying spot. Abby Clark behind her, already qualified, so that means Jordan Carr and Mia are going to be going to the third major, and Casey Rothschild just missing out.
Yeah, Casey Rothschild missing out with getting DQ'd on the second obstacle.
But a
Tough
really
break.
Such a brutal course on the women's side. No women got past the steamroller.
Yeah, and I mean, I think as a product of that is there were not as many women competitors competing, and so the ratio is just a little bit different because we saw it take out a ton of men competitors.
A ton of amazing men's competitors. And looking at the leaderboard here, Adam Burnett, our only finisher on this course.
Adam Latz!
Dude, Adam Latz punching his ticket. I know he had a couple of early exits and earlier qualifiers, but holy cow, man. Only finisher on this course with this level of athletes. That's awesome.
Yeah, it looked really good, and especially looked so good on the dismount to the flight risk.
Might as well have been a 10-foot dismount for him. I mean, it looked so controlled, so easy. And right in second place, Lucas Rial making his way to the majors for the first time. The only other athlete to beat flight risk, but just missing out on the warp wall at the end.
And then another athlete making their way to the major for the first time, Jay Lewis.
Jay Lachey, yes, youth athlete coming out and proving he's amazing. And he got to the flight risk faster than anybody else. It was awesome to watch him compete, but that means that Joe Meisner and Luke Dillon just miss out. And so, like Luke, his mistake at the end there means that he didn't qualify. He would have just dismounted. He was so close, then he would have qualified.
So close, but you know that's how it goes in Ninja. And you know, Adam Latz, you know, finishing this course again, proving to get you into the major and being the only finisher.
One finisher on a Drew Dreschel course. I mean, I don't know what else we expect.
I'm not surprised. I'll say that much.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think this course, you know, Drew put together an awesome course, and I think it's exactly what we expected. Difficult in a lot of different areas.
Oh, it's so technical, too. It's so good. I loved how technical and different the movements. The Gibbon swings is something so simple. It's just vertical pipes, but I don't think I've ever seen that in a competition.
I've never seen it in a competition. I've never even practiced it, so I better start.
We got to get to practicing, but that was a lot of fun. Really tough course, and we're gearing up for our last qualifier of the entire season. Going to be at Jungle Gym in Florida, a course put together by Caleb Bergstrom, who is a monster himself. I'm really excited to see what he comes up with.
Yeah, Caleb Bergstrom, incredible upper body endurance and upper body strength. I would guess it's going to be pretty upper body intensive.
Pretty intensive, yes. No, I agree. And I mean, if you want to see how the standings are looking as we're shaping up to our last major event, you can check out all the championship information on unxnow.com. You can see a lot more runs, a lot more information fast forward on YouTube. So check us out there. But until next time, I'm Ethan Swanson.
And I'm Chris Ganji. We'll see you guys next time.